I welcome the opportunity to speak on this piece of legislation, and I commend the Minister for bringing forward this bill. I know that many individuals thought that by the Gardaí exercising their discretion we could overcome the problems that have been outlined in this legislation. I think, however, it is preferable if we have certainty in respect of the issue. When a publican or when a restaurant is granted a licence to sell alcohol, the permission they're granted is to sell alcohol on their premises. That means that if there's a pub on Harcourt Street, at the top of Harcourt Street, and it has a licence to sell alcohol there, it doesn't mean that the individual can buy alcohol there and drink it at the bottom of Harcourt Street. What prohibits that are the bylaws in place in Dublin City that prohibit the drinking of alcohol in public places. Therefore, I think it is very appropriate, and I commend the Minister for the fact that we're going to bring certainty to this issue by enacting this legislation here today. The effect of the legislation is that the great measures that have been taken by local authorities around the country to ensure that businesses can be conducted outside, that will be enabled to be done legally and lawfully. It means that if somebody has a licence to sell alcohol from a public house, that individuals can drink outside that public house on tables and chairs provided that have been licensed by the local authority. It is now over 3 weeks since outdoor hospitality commenced in the country last Ceann Comhairle. It has gone extremely well. I know from being in Dublin that outdoor hospitality is extremely effective. What we have done is that the industry and local authorities, and indeed government, have replaced disorganised socialising with organised socialising. I think they need to be commended for the work that they have done. You can see it any time by walking through the city, and an awful lot of the antisocial behaviour that we saw in the city prior to the reopening of hospitality outdoors is now being reduced significantly. So I think we also need to recognise that the hospitality industry itself needs to have our support. It is getting support here by the enactment of this legislation. Obviously, we haven't had an opportunity to discuss and debate the issues that arose yesterday in respect of the hospitality industry. However, I would like to see that process expedited. I think it is important for the hospitality sector that they're not placed with all responsibility for any risk that arises in respect of the pandemic into the future. One issue which I would like to deal with specifically, Las Ceann Comhairle, is an issue that has been raised with me repeatedly by constituents who've sent me emails yesterday and today, and that concerns the cancellation or postponement of confirmations and communions. They had already been postponed on a number of occasions. I was speaking to one grandmother today who told me that her granddaughter had to have clothes bought again for her because she'd grown out of the previous clothes that had been bought for the previous communion. I would ask, Minister, that the government look at this. There must be creative ways by which this matter can be resolved, that we can facilitate such communions and confirmations. We all know what the risk is in respect of it, or what we're told is the risk in respect of statistics by the modelling of NPHET. However, it's the responsibility of government to come up with solutions for issues such as this. These are very important social development issues for people in our society, and we have to be seen to try to facilitate them. But I commend the Minister for the bill, and I think it will bring great clarity to the area of the sale of licensed alcohol in the near future.